Hello everybody, my name is Richard Vigorelli and this is Vigorelli Institute, and I have another review for you from Rippaverse done by the legendary Chuck Dixon. Here we are. Oh yes. Oh yes. I have been waiting for this to come out because it explains everything that actually happens in the books that were released previously. Now, this is the first of 4. It is a limited release. This is called The Great War of Separation. And I specifically bought this cover not because it was cheap, although that was part of the case, but because I actually prefer this one. I would expect to see this hanging up in their Capitol building in Texas. Okay, now let's look in. Here is a note from Eric July himself, and this is what the United States looks like right before that war happens. Now, apparently the United States is not a healthy country. Holy crap. All right, let's look at this. So, out west, you've got all of the West Coast, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, Wyoming, Utah, Idaho, Montana, and the Dakotas, all is one country called Brahmas. I want to know why. You hear me, Eric July? I want to know why Brahmas. Additionally, I want to know what the Mid-Southern Alliance is all about. It's got Missouri, Nebraska, Kansas, Iowa, all the way down the Mississippi with Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Tennessee, Kentucky, even up into Indiana. Okay? I want to know what the hell. And then you got Greater Florida with Florida, Alabama, and Georgia as one country. Then the United States is everything else. Apparently Alaska and Hawaii are independent. Interesting. But before the war, Texas and Oklahoma are part of the United States, which is the upper Midwest and most of the eastern seaboard, minus Georgia and Florida. I really want to know why. I was expecting basically everything's fine until something happened to make Texas go, we're done. Bye-bye. Okay? Apparently, the United States is not doing well. And I really, really want to know the background of that. I don't know if I'm going to get that in a future issue, but we'll see. The artwork in this is gorgeous, as always. Here's a sample. Absolutely. Okay, let me see if I've got any big stuff in here. There's a shapeshifter in here that I think is pretty neat, and I kind of want to see what he does. Too early. Let's look here. 1 second. Finding it. There he is. Echo. Apparently he's Mexican, or at least Spanish. He does speak fluent Spanish, and this guy can change his face, which I thought was kind of interesting. Here you are. He's called Zeno. We'll find out more about him later on. This looks like it's going to shape up to be a pretty nasty war. Now, according to Eric July's letter, his note, if you will, in the cover here, this is something that he conceived of long before he thought up of ISOM and everything else in the universe, which kind of makes sense with Eric's political positions on a lot of things, which I may or may not agree with him on. He gave it to Chuck Dixon to play with. This is all Chuck. Okay? I actually really do like Chuck Dixon's writing. interestingly, he's influenced some of my own stuff, so we'll go from there. Anyway, I did like it. This is definitely the opening act, the prologue to Act and into Act 1. I'm expecting issue number 2 to move into the second half of Act 1, or like the last part of Act 1 moving into Act 2, with 3 being solid Act 2. Act 2 is usually the bigger, and then Act 3 and Resolution being book 4. So I am very excited for this. I do not know when the next one will come out, but I am going to get it. So, I enjoyed it. It's a very quick read. Definitely one of the shorter books. And there's the cover art. Stop that right there. I'm terrible. Like I said, I would expect that to be found in their capital of, the founding mythos of their brand new civilization. And here's some of the other stuff. Go ahead and check that out. I do recommend getting this, at very least, so you can kind of understand what is going on. And they've got a lot going on there. So, ISOM 2 is going to be out very, very soon. Pre-orders are available. I do recommend getting in on it. And yes, you can buy the previously published books. They're not, early release and sorry, bro, you missed your chance. That's for the merchandise. They're always coming up with new merchandise anyway. Go ahead and check that out. Do recommend it. Solid stuff. What else do I want to talk about with this? So, the whole war, according to this book, starts off with a raid by one of the cartels. It's called Soya. Anyway. They decide to attack American guardsmen over the Texas border. So they're in Mexico, lobbing shots over. They're also sneaking guys across the border and breaking things. That is an act of war. Okay? So Texas decides that, well, we're going to patrol our own borders. We are going to fix this problem. Washington, D.C. comes in and says, no, you're not. This is a national issue. We're seeing to it. Well, the governor of Texas says, okay, fine. Well, he has a bad day. New governor of Texas comes in and says, well, if you're not going to help us, then we don't need you. Your job is to secure our border. You're not doing that. We are. So we're cutting you off. Bye-bye. They deport all United States loyal citizens. Anybody who is Texan-born can stay if they wish. They can move around, etc. Okay? But this is now a sovereign, independent country. So we'll see what happens. So basically, Texas is entering a war with the United States that you saw and the Mexican cartel, or cartels, okay? Which, it's actually fairly logical. Now, I am looking at this from an in-universe perspective, and as sick as the United States is, yeah, that would, the United States would probably be very slow to take stuff up, because shipping troops from the eastern seaboard to Texas, they've got an entire country in the way that probably doesn't like them. Granted, the Mid-South Alliance is probably not a sovereign nation. It's probably more of a confederation, where each one of the states, they're kind of sort of helping each other out, but not really. So they would probably be able to pass through like Tennessee, and then Arkansas would say shove it. Or you know, they'd be able to get through Indiana, but Tennessee would say, no, bite me, okay, etc. Who knows? Anyway, so they're probably going through diplomatic channels so that they can cross troops through that territory and then into Texas. However, Texas is having a hell of a time right now, and they're going like, would you guys hurry up? At least send us some ships. And the U.S. is saying, we'll get there. So, that's interesting. Now, really interesting part is, in our world, okay, any attack on one of the states is an attack on all the states. So, if, let's say, our Mexican cartels decided to start lobbing pot shots over the Texan border, that would then incur not only the Texas Guard, but the United States Army, probably Marines, and Air Force. And we would fight back. Mexico would say, hey, what are you doing? Why are you shooting into Mexican territory? You guys fired at us first. Okay? And then through diplomatic channels, the Mexican government would have to capitulate and allow American soldiers onto Mexican land so that they can round up these rogue elements and take them out, or B, they will have to side legally and diplomatically with the cartels, with them being Mexican citizens, and therefore augment the cartel's firepower with the Mexican army, plus all of their allies, which will then drag allies of the U.S. into the war. Could get out of hand rather quickly. So, again, we'll see what happens in Book 2 of this. I am excited for it. And I do have to suspend the logic of the world I live in versus this world. Additionally, augmented people are there already. We have a shapeshifter. Other such powers do exist, so we'll see what happens. Anyway, that's about all I've got for you today. If you're new to the channel, like, subscribe, leave a comment. Thank you so kindly. And also feel free to check out Rippaverse.com in order to get into these books. We've got Chuck Dixon. We've got Gothics working as a spokeswoman for them. We've got the Twisted Twins working for them. I adore those girls. They're crazy as hell, but they're awesome. Eric July, love this dude. And also, check out my website, vimandvigorelli.com. Description of both vendors will be in the links to both websites will be in the description. And you can also follow me on Twitter. Handle will be in the description. So, you take care. Bye-bye.